Hey guys, this is Mac here, bringing you another Nintendo Box video, and it's been a little while since I've done one, but I just wanted to bring you this news, although I think it's actually kind of non-news, which is that Nintendo is busy working and planning their next console, which is something that we should know, because that's just how games businesses and games companies work when they make consoles. The PlayStation 5 will be in development now, and in the planning phase at least, and so will whatever the hell they call the next Xbox. And that's pretty much non-news, guys, but the other news that is kind of more substantial is that it will be home to the next Mario game, most likely. And that is something that has actually surprised me a lot, because I didn't really expect the next Mario game to be that far ahead in the future, because I can only assume that this next Nintendo console won't be out in the next year or two. I think it'll be 2017, probably at the least. I think possibly announced in 2016 or 2017 to be released in 2017, 2018. I would imagine that's about the timing, and it's just kind of surprising that Mario is going to be like the next installment of the Super Mario series is going to be on that next gen console, but that is also pretty cool. It means they've got a long time to go for it through development of it, and it means they can concentrate on other projects while they are doing this game, planning it out, making it awesome, and hopefully we can get it as a launch title for the next console. That is a hope of mine, because they need to set off this next console generation that they're going to have after the Wii U, although granted, it's a long way off in the future as far as I believe. I think they need to start off that next console generation with a bang, because the Wii U had a pretty awful launch, and it's probably my favourite Nintendo console today, and therefore my favourite console today. Even probably surpassed the GameCube at this point. I really, really love the Wii U, guys. But I will say that it did have a terrible launch, and it's still playing catch up because of that. They didn't really utilise and use that extra year that they had on top of their competition, and it's come back to bite them in the butt, so now they're playing catch up. But I just want to talk as well about what they could possibly do with this. So there's been a lot of talk about the Nintendo Fusion that people have been speculating about for years now, which is that they combine their handheld console with their home console, and you can have this special controller which is sort of like the Wii U gamepad, so it kind of makes sense. And people think that the Wii U was like a stepping stone to this, which is that you bring in your handheld console, so effectively you have a little Wii U gamepad or a little 3DS, and you bring in that, you hook it up to the next console using Bluetooth or some other kind of technology, and then you just play your game on the TV, and you can take your game and go out into the whole wide world and just play it, which would be awesome. I'm not sure how they would do that though, guys. I'm sure they would find a way around it. They've got some talented people in the company as far as hardware and software goes, so they could manage it. But I think Nintendo really need to actually concentrate on getting some good specs for this next console. I'm being real now. I think they need some good specs for it. And as much as I don't care about it, because Nintendo get around it, some of the games on the Wii U look just as good, if not better, than most of the games on PS4 and Xbox One. And that's because they use different kind of art styles. Those cel-shaded graphics on Zelda Wii U look amazing, and it's not even like fully developed yet. It's just insane, guys. And that is why I think that they don't need it. But as far as getting the masses, I think they definitely do need to have these awesome specs that, you know, will grab the masses, grab people's attention, and they just need to be far superior to what the PS4 has at the moment, but they need to somehow make them affordable. Now, granted, that is going to be tough. That is going to be very tough. and one of the things that they could possibly go with is making their CPU and GPU something more akin to what you'd see in a PC. And now that would allow them to keep costs slightly lower, not very much, but slightly lower, because at the moment they do use kind of custom parts which they customise to their system. But they could use ones which maybe they only customise slightly, or they keep, yeah, like I said, more akin to what you'd find in a PC, which is something that I believe the Xbox definitely does, and the PS4 also does. And that would allow it to be a bit more welcoming to third parties as well, because although I think this generation has been awesome because Nintendo have had to step up their game and, you know, put their A game on the table and bring some great games that we wouldn't have usually seen, such as Captain Toad Treasure Tracker and these partnerships with, say, Koei Tecmo, where we've got Hyrule Warriors and we've got other games such as Bayonetta 2. I think that that won't really cut it next generation, as it's not really cutting it now, although we've seen an upswing in the Wii U, which is insane and it's awesome and I'm really happy about that. I think they won't really cut it, so if we want the next generation for Nintendo to be successful, it needs to be a bit more welcoming to third parties, and they in general need to be a bit more welcoming to third parties, and third parties need to be more willing to actually put their stuff on Nintendo systems as well. So that will help out with that whole situation. And like I said, as far as the Fusion goes, I'm not really sure I would even like to see that. I think I'd like separate consoles. I like handhelds and I like my home console, but I'm not sure if they kind of fuse those into one, that would be something that would be particularly great actually. And I think that they may keep the whole gamepad, but they may not. They may decide to ditch it, but hopefully, I'm really hoping that they do something with the gamepad. They just kind of refine it, maybe make it slightly smaller, although I do love the gamepad. You know, just make it a bit more streamlined and keep that kind of ethic going with it, because I believe that the Wii U is a brilliant console, and if they find ways to utilise the gamepad and just, you know, make it more welcoming to people, then I believe that it could be awesome on the next console, and it would be something that didn't scare away people as much. But let's go on to the next part of it, which is definitely marketing. Now, this is where Nintendo really went wrong with the Wii U, because the marketing is terrible. I live in the UK, and the marketing for the Wii U is non-existent. We used to have one advert which was around at launch, which was a family playing a game on the TV, but it never once showed the console. It really, I think if I remember rightly, only showed the gamepad, and that combined with the name only resulted in people thinking that it was an add-on for the Wii. And that's not really good for you if the customer is confused with what your product is and what it does. So they really need to start with a better name, and also they need to just step up the marketing, put more money into advertising, because apart from Smash Bros and Mario Kart, they haven't really advertised at all. And that's a shame, and they should be putting a bit of this money that they should be earning in the next few years back into advertising, and I think they will reap the rewards from that. But that's about all I have for this video, guys, so if you've enjoyed this, then please leave a like. Also, please comment in that section down below and tell me what you actually think that this next console could be, your views on Mario being on the next console, the next proper Super Mario game, and just all that good stuff. I've been Mackie, you've been watching another Nintendo Box video. Bye guys.